God, please, no! 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 No!
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the tier 6 British medium tank, the Sherman Firefly. Now this isn't your average Firefly, because I'm running the Derp gun, and I wouldn't recommend running the Derp gun on the Firefly if you want to be as good as you possibly can in the tank, because the 17-pounder gun that this tank gets is fantastic. But if you know me, I love derps. Derp is love, derp is life, right? So I run the derp on this tank because it's just fun, because derps are fun, so I run the derp. And as you can tell, this replay was from a little while before they, well, it was before they put red-green back in, because I wouldn't have blue and orange. But it was one of those things that I played the Firefly, had this game, and then didn't play it again for a pretty long while. And then I had the next game, which happened. Now you see we're on Arctic region, and we've taken up this little bush position here, which is always a good place to take to be able to get shots across. Now, it's risky now, more so now than it was then, because it's a well-known position now. So people tend to blind fire that bush quite a lot. Artillery loves to blind fire it. Nobody could be seen shooting, no one could be fired yet, and artillery will just take pot shots at it. It's really annoying. I've been sat in it in a light tank before. No one has gone past yet. No one's fired a shot. I've not fired a shot. And had artillery one-shot me just because it blind fires a bush and just hits me. And it's like, right, okay then, I see how it is. You know, it's just one of those things. It's one of those positions. But we've taken that one blind shot. Nothing's really got spotted. There's nothing really spotting. So I've decided, you know what, it's time to move up. We're going to move up onto this position over here and hopefully get some shots into these guys. And as you can see, it is an older replay because there's not even the tank names above the icons. Thank God we got those back. And hopefully the HP numbers will be back soon. I know Pain God said in the stream with Minto, either I think it was this week, last week, or the week before, one of the three, he said that it was with the designers or something like that. So hopefully we'll see a return of the HP bar numbers at some point very soon. And that will be a very, very welcome change generally. So we've taken this corner, we've shut down that guy, and we're now looking to try and get rid of these guys over here. Now obviously because we're running a derp gun, I can take pot shots at people and track them like I did that guy, which means that you can generally do quite a bit of damage by going for the outside tracks of people, because you just splash them. Unfortunately, I think we hit his gun there, which meant we did no damage to the T-3485M. Now that tank can be a pain in the backside because it's quite well armoured, so therefore our derp gun doesn't do all that much to it sometimes. This 25 TP makes a mistake. He drives in front of the derp gun, and you don't mess with the derp gun because you hit dead gun barrels like that. Yeah, well played. Aim properly, you scrub. There we go. We shut him down. We didn't aim properly, but we still shut him down. And now we're looking for shots on this Churchill 7. Now again, if I hit him in the frontal armour, I'm less likely to do loads of damage to him than I am if I actually track him. It's one of those things. I'm better to shoot underneath the tank and splash underneath him, because that's what derp guns are like. Now this T-3485M is rushing me, which is bad news, right? Because he's got good DPM, he's got a good gun. I don't know why I don't quite take the opportunity there, got a good shot into him, but we actually get lucky there. Because the shot flies straight into the top of his engine deck and pens him for 335. It's unexpected pens like that with derp guns, which is what makes them so satisfying at times. But I've now got the high ground, right? I've got 12 degrees gun depression when I'm using this derp gun, which is one thing I like over the 17-pounder anyway, because the 17-pounder only gets like 6 degrees of gun depression, which is a historical feature. But it makes it a pain in the ass in situations like this. Whereas I'm using the derp gun, I can really hurt these guys. And now I'm loading heat because I'm hoping that I could possibly get the top of his engine deck from above him and pen him, because that way I could, you know, whittle his health down a lot quicker than he'll take mine down. And I actually pop a shot straight through his turret front with the heat. We've got the HE loaded again. Our friend in the light tank in the VK2801 came to help us. He distracted him and we shut down the Churchill 7. Now that Churchill 7 was a big problem for us because He had a lot of health, he had a lot of armour, and he's got a good gun with decent DPM. So if he decides to try and YOLO, well, I say YOLO isn't a Churchill 7. YOLO is as quick as a Churchill 7 can, which is not very. If he decided to go in on us, basically, and use his DPM, we'd have died. So we needed to use the heat to pen him to whittle his health down quicker. It was a risky play, though, because 101.5 pen or something random like that on the heat on this, which could have made it an issue to pen him. It was risky, but it's something we had to do. It's high risk, high reward, you know. So we end up catching this 244 out. We pop a shot straight in, 127 damage, kill him. Now there's 2 guys left, 2 heavy tanks in a platoon, and an artillery. We don't know where they were, but there's only really one place that they could have been, which is Ice Road or the bridge, which is both in the same direction. So I didn't really want to go towards the bridge at C4, because if they were on the bridge, they're going to kill me. I'm low health, right? They're going to kill me. It's a T1 Heavy and an OI. The T1 Heavy will probably 2-shot me, but it's got a good rate of fire. And the OI Experimental, if it's using the Derp gun anyway, will 1-shot me. So it's a risky thing, right? I don't want to get caught out by them. And the VK-281 goes round the ice road, ends up spotting one of the heavy tanks that I can't see at this moment in time. And I kind of want to get closer to them. I want to try and help this guy out, because he came to help me, and I want to try and shut these heavy tanks down. I know where they are, and because of that 2801 getting spotted up when he went towards them, I'm kind of expecting them to go back down the ice road. So I am hoping myself that I can catch these heavies out. I can catch them unawares, get shots into their bootay, and I'll survive. So we're just going to keep going as fast as we can, because there's one thing with the Sherman Firefly. If you're seeing it now, we're going at 35 kilometers an hour top speed. Unlike every other Sherman, it doesn't have that 50-odd kilometer an hour top speed. It is a slow Sherman, and that is another reason it's a little bit sad to play sometimes, the Sherman. But like I say, I mean, the 17-pounder on the gun is a pretty damn nice gun. This Derp gun is not one I'd ever recommend using on the Sherman Firefly, unless you just want to have a laugh, which is what I do generally with Derp guns. So I get around this corner and I'm thinking, they must have gone chasing after that 2801, right? Because I've not spotted it yet. And in fact, randomly the T1 Heavy is facing me. I have no idea. He must have thought the VK-281 was going to come up behind him or something, but he's randomly facing me, which is really frustrating, because he manages to put a shot into me, which now I am a 1-shot for him as well. And with that, I'm like, okay, if he's facing me and he knows where I am, I can't stay here, right? Because he's just going to kill me. He's going to pop around that corner, kill me. Obviously, I could kill him with 1 shot now, but it's just too risky, because we don't know where the OI Experimental has gone. The OI Experimental could also be with him. And in fact, they both get spotted up as the 2801 goes round, and he's not actually chased me. It's something that surprised me, and with the T1 Heavy getting spotted up to be shot at by the VK-281 and the 281 being spotted behind, I thought this OI Experimental, sorry, would actually turn around. But in fact, he's just intent. He is intent on chasing me, which is not good, because it's actually funny, because the OI Experimental can go faster than I can. It's actually a faster tank, goes up like 40 kilometers an hour. And that means he can snapshot me on the move with his Derp gun. But and unfortunately, the 2801 didn't manage to shut down the OI, but we finished with Ace Tanker, 5 kills, high caliber, 2400 damage, 1000 base XP on a loss, which is pretty nice. And it's just unfortunate that we didn't get to win that game. It's just the way it goes sometimes. You can't win them all. So this tank is fun. I don't know what it is about the Firefly with the Derp gun. I just really enjoy it. Like, it's one of those things that was just really satisfying to use. It's really min-max. Sometimes it's really bad, and sometimes it's actually pretty damn decent, and you get some good games. So this is the second game. We're on Abbey, and we're platooned up with Chopper, and there's only one place we're going to go in the Abbey. I say in the Abbey. On Abbey. The only place we're going to go is towards the Abbey, in the Abbey. We're not really going to go anywhere else. I mean, we could go down the 9-0. We could go sit at like G9 in the bushes and spot out, derp across, that sort of thing. But the Abbey is such a strong position that if you take it, you can get good shots across everywhere. But unfortunately, they're pushing it very aggressively. So we're just going to take this position over here, try and use the 12 degrees of under pressure to get some nice shots out. We get a shot straight into that VK there. And really what we're doing now is a bit risky. And we take a hit there, unfortunately. We shouldn't really be pushing like this. We should be doing something better, which is what we're doing now. We get a shot underneath the dead wreck here into this VK 3002D. And we're looking for more shots now. Unfortunately, there is destructible cover in front of this VK. It's broken walls, which means that our HE shells will get absorbed, which is a bit of a pain. Now there's this IS spotted at the end of the road, which is just apocalyptic. We don't want to be seeing that because we're not going to do all that much damage to him with the Derp gun, and he's going to two-shot us easily. Now that VK manages to run out in front of us, and unfortunately we don't actually get to finish it off with the heat. We've loaded heat because I wanted to see if I could meme the IS's cupola and pen it with heat, and I'm popping blind shots here to see if I can hit the thing that might be camping in their bushes at the back. And you see I'm trying to aim for it. And there is spotted an OI. And I've got heat in, so I'm not actually going to do anything to that guy. Then the IS gets spotted as he comes out. We actually managed to bounce the IS. Now, obviously, we're a Sherman Firefly. We have no armour. We have no turret armour. But angling happens. And sometimes when you're going up and down on a ridge line, the angling on the turret, they can hit a dodgy spot. And therefore, they'll bounce. We've got the HE back in, so we do 89 damage to the side of that IS, which, you know, is about right for what we're going to do. We're not always going to do a lot. We pop a shot into this VK as he drives around the corner. Now, the Achilles on the right is taking shots from the guys on the left at E2, which is making me hesitant to push up. We actually pen the VK 3002D there, which is very, very nice. Like I say, when you pen people, it's always really satisfying. They think, oh, I'm only going to take, like, 100 damage, and then you pen them, and they're like, wait, where did 400 of my health go? Oh. And they really hurt. Now, unfortunately, we snap a shot at him there, we miss. And I'm wary of being shot from behind, and there we go, the VK 3601H gets spotted up. We get a nice snapshot into that KV-85. Now, he's in a really awkward position. We're actually side-scraping him here, which, again, this tank hasn't got no armour. It shouldn't really be doing that well against people like this. But we load heat, we slap it into the top of his superstructure, and we shut him down. Because we tried to aim high there so we'd avoid his tracks, and we did manage to finish him off. Now this Churchill 7 is coming, which again is a pain in the backside because we're not always going to do a great amount of damage to it. It's a lot of health, and it's got a decent gun. We're popping shots into the top of his turret, which is the weakest spot of his armour. So we're actually doing more damage that way. And we're doing like 110, 120 on average to him. And then the IS is here, and it's like, no, I don't like that IS. No, I don't want to take that damage. Now, this Churchill's still pushing up. We get a nice shot into the top of his turret for 162, like I say. It's the weakest part of the armour, so it's where the HE is going to splash and do the most. We try and get another shot into the IS again. Unfortunately, we miss. Then this VK is charging. He's not happy with me from earlier on. We try and track him. We end up doing that and doing 124 damage. Unfortunately, we didn't actually pen him. We finish him off. And now the IS is charging, and it's like, oh my goodness. Fortunately enough for me, he misses. And I'm thinking I'm dead here, so I'm trying to track this guy, because I know I've got help by the TD behind me. So I know he'll take some of the health off of this guy. And I really want to track him in front of him. And look at that ricochet off the upper plate. That, again, that shouldn't happen. But angling happens, and we managed to bounce him. Now, my only way of surviving this is to try and get round his gun, get behind him so he couldn't rotate the turret, because I had a heavy tank coming up behind me as well, so I couldn't stay in that position, because the OI was coming up. So I moved beyond him. Unfortunately enough for me, my TD behind me actually shut him down. The TD got shut down by the OI. We pop a shot into the tracks of the OI. Again, we want to track him in place, so I've got enough time to reload. And then he gets shut down by my medium tank down at J9. Now there's just the two light tank, well, the light tanks, sorry, and the two TDs. They're kind of in front of me, and I want them for damage. And this is one of those games, I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I'm alive. What happened there? I don't know. I mean, we got lucky to bounce the IS twice, right? Because we bounced him when we were up and down on that ridge line. Then we actually bounced him again when he came around the corner. Unfortunately enough for me, he just didn't have enough of a shot. And now we're facing off against this SU-85. We get a nice shot into the top of his tank. And I'm thinking about the heat, but actually, if I get round this guy, I can pen him in the side. Unfortunately, I try and get that shot in, but we miss. But we have got round this guy because he should have bought a turret. Again, we hit a weird angle there, so we don't actually pen him. But we're going to finish him off. This Jagdpanzer IV's coming and is rushing his shots. I'm looking for the track, possibly, but I actually get round him because we've got heat loaded in. We pen him in the butt, and we only need to pen him again once more with the heat. Because obviously this is where the heat comes in useful. When you're facing TDs like a Jagdpanzer IV, like an Su-85, if you get round the side, you're going to pen them. And we shut him down just like that. And we're up to 3.7k damage. There's one light tank left. He's in the middle, facing off against our two heavy tanks. And this game went from looking sad and desperate to actually pretty decent. So we're just going to close in on this light tank. We've still got heat in because we can pen him with the heat. The light tank actually shuts down our heavy. And he's doing the perfect thing for me, which is driving in front of us. We aim up, slap the shot into the side of his turret and finish him off. And we finished that game with a fantastic game for this tank. 4k damage, 1300 assistance in a tier 7 match with a derp gun. I mean, if you did this on the Firefly with the 17 pounder, it'd be like, well, that was a good game. That was good fun. With the derp gun, it's just even better. So we finished top. Finished with 6 kills, so that was actually our top gun as well. 4k damage, 1400 assistance, that's 5.5k damage combined nearly. Ace tanker, top gun, high caliber. And when we flick the scoreboard across, if you're ever going to do it, sir, 2.6k base, which is a very high base XP for this. Just a great game. I love the Firefly Derp. I have 3-marked it recently. I've got probably 2 more videos to come up on the channel at some point. 2 more really good ace tankers, and then the 3rd mark video. It's been so much fun. I'd always recommend to use the 17 pounder because it's just better that way. But the derp gun, derp is love. Derp is life. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!